Your life is a series of chapters, and ultimately, there's going to be an ending. So, you have to write down how your story is going to end, and you have to think about it. You're not going to be able to tell the future. You're not going to be able to make things magically happen because life happens. You can go in 1,000 different directions. But if you don't have an image of at least what you're trying to get to, then you're just going to be drifting in life on autopilot. You're just going to be letting every single thing in life just pull you to many different directions. And it's just going to feel like you're not going anywhere. And when you start to think of your life as a story, it really changes things. And now you start to realize that you have the ability to write words into your book of life. You have the ability to define your chapters, and you have the ability to sit down and actually write what your ending is going to be. Welcome back to Be Unafraid podcast. If you feel like you're drifting, going through the motions, stuck in the same routines, and feel like you're scared that you're wasting your life, then this episode is for you. Most people never stop to ask themselves, what do I really want in life? So they keep on chasing the expectations that other people have of them. Today in this episode, we're going to talk about how to wake up, build a clear vision, and stop living on autopilot before it's too late. So let's get into the episode. You can't live the life that you want if you've never envisioned it. The most important question that you can ever ask yourself is, what do you want? Most people live their lives without actually asking themselves this one question. What do I want in life? What do I want to have done at the end of my life? Who do I want to have become? If you don't know what you want, you're going to spend your whole entire life chasing the life that other people are going to define for you, or chasing the wrong life completely. What do I want is a question that's not easy to answer at all. And it really is going to require you to do a whole lot of thinking and a whole lot of brainstorming, because most of the time we never think about what we want in life. We never look towards the end of our lives and try to visualize or envision what our life would have been like, because it's a heavy lift. And it's a hard thing to do because we don't even know what we want to do tomorrow, yet alone what we want to do at the end of our lives. So the question of what do I want in life is very difficult, but it's a necessary question, because this question is going to really unlock what you can do in life. It's going to unlock all the things that you potentially could get into, because you can't get into something until you actually start to seal yourself in it, and you start to visualize, and you start to be able to understand that the things that you want, some of them you can actually get those. Some are easy, some are difficult, and some are just not meant for us. But you have to take the time to ask the question, what do I want in life? Subscribe to this podcast if you're done living on autopilot and want to start living your life with intention and momentum. Let's get back into the episode. There is the idea of using a vision board. And I used to think that vision boards and things like that were like a whole bunch of woo-woo stuff, that you just put a whole bunch of stuff on there and then you start to get into the law of attraction and manifestation, things of that nature. And I really didn't want to get into all of that stuff and didn't think much of that stuff, but I was looking at it the wrong way, and I wasn't giving credit to the act of writing out your vision or putting a vision board together. I didn't realize just how powerful it is, because the thing that changed how I viewed a vision board is when I started to understand that it's not necessarily that you're trying to manifest this thing right now, which you kind of are, but what you're trying to do is to paint a picture of a vision that you see yourself in, and use that vision board as a reminder that this is something that you can do, that this is something that you want, that this is something that you envision yourself in. Because a lot of times what happens is we start drifting. We start drifting throughout the day. From the moment that we wake up, there's already things happening. We're checking our phones. There's social media. We're reading text messages. We're getting phone calls. We go to work. We are constantly under stress and we're doing. And then we get to the end of the day, you have to get some sleep and you have to do it all over again and then just repeat every single day for months and years. And it just goes on. And you forget what your vision is. You forget the things that you want to do. You forget the things that excite you, the things that you see yourself doing. And over time, you start to not see yourself as that person. And those visions that you had of yourself before start to kind of feel abstract and start to kind of feel like you really can't do those anymore. They're not realistic because you haven't been reminding yourself of those things every single day. And that's what a vision board and writing down your vision in a journal, whatever it is, that's what that thing is supposed to do. It's supposed to give you a daily reminder when you're going through all this busy stuff that you have to do and juggling all these things. Is you walk by your vision board or you open your book, you read your vision, and then you remember that, oh, this is who I want to be. This is what I want to accomplish. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. And it's just a reminder to get you excited again to carve out time for your vision and to focus on that and to do things that are actually going to help you make some of those visions come true. Think of your life as if you're writing a book. We are all writing a book. Every single day that we wake up, we write a page in our book, and those pages will accumulate into chapters. And your life is a series of chapters, and ultimately there's going to be an ending. So you have to write down how your story is going to end, and you have to think about it. You're not going to be able to tell the future. You're not going to be able to make things magically happen because life happens. You can go in 1,000 different directions. But if you don't have an image of at least what you're trying to get to, then you're just going to be drifting in life on autopilot. You're just going to be letting every single thing in life just pull you to many different directions. And it's just going to feel like you're not going anywhere. And when you start to think of your life as a story, it really changes things. And now you start to realize that you have the ability to write words into your book of life. You have the ability to define your chapters, and you have the ability to sit down and actually write what your ending is going to be. Great authors that write book start with the ending. They already know what the ending of the book is going to be. Once they have the ending of the book, then they work backwards and start to write the chapters. The chapters will build and they will reach a climax and ultimately result in the ending. That's how a great author writes a book. Terrible authors will sit down with a blank piece of paper or their laptop or computer or tablet, and they'll start from chapter 1 and start writing the book. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. And ultimately they'll get to the ending and then they'll start to think, how do I want to end this story? That story is not going to make any sense. It's not going to be a good story. It's going to be all over the place because they didn't know where the ending of that story is going to be. So that same way of thinking that writers take into writing their stories is a way that you can apply to your life when you think of your life as if you are writing a story and you're the hero in that story. How do you want your life to end? What do I actually want from this life? Very important question that you need to sit down and think about that. Take a few minutes, a few days. It's not an easy question to answer, but it's a necessary question. Not what's safe, not what's expected. What do I want? Deep down, really, at my core, what is the thing that excites me the most? And you can look at different categories of your life. You can look at your career. What type of job do you want? If you're in a job already, where do you want to move in your job? Are you happy in your job? Do you want a promotion? Do you want to move to a different company? You can look at your relationships. What type of relationships do you want? If you're in those relationships, how do you want to improve them? How do you want those relationships to be? And life experiences, right? We all want to experience life and to experience the great things that this planet has to offer. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to visit? Who do you want to go there with? These are all things that you can sit down and start to craft your vision board, and you start to put those things down because you need to understand where you want your story to go for you to actually start writing those chapters. You don't need a perfect vision. Like I talked about, you can never tell the future. Nobody can tell the future. Your vision does not have to be perfect, but it has to be a vision. Without a vision, the people perish. Without a vision, your life is going to feel meaningless. You're going to feel like you have no purpose because you're not marching towards anything. It just has to be something that excites you. And the thing about a vision and a vision board is that it is a dynamic thing. It's something that changes. You put something in your vision, maybe your life circumstances change for the better or for the worse. Then you can go back to your vision board and you can rewrite your vision board. You have that ability. So understand that the purpose of this vision, of crafting this vision for your life, is to give you direction. That is the number one purpose. We go to work and work for these corporations and these companies that have vision statements and mission statements. Any of them, any company that you're working on, if you open their main website, their corporate website, you're going to see either a mission statement, a vision statement, or both. The companies that we invest in and we spent so much of our time and hours in, and we just pour and pour into them, we're building their visions and missions. They know where they want to go. They know where they want to go and they have it written down, and then they build their goals off of that. But we spend all this time and energy pouring into these companies' visions and missions, and we never sit down to actually think about our own vision and mission in our own lives. We never sit down to actually write one. And that's a problem. That's a problem. And you have to realize that that's a problem, especially if you're feeling like you're just walking on autopilot or sleepwalking through life, or there's no meaning to it. Maybe it's because you're not clear or you don't have an exciting vision of where you're going, and you're pretty much bored with where you are and really don't know where else to go. It's not too late. It's never too late. It doesn't matter at what point in life you're in, at what age you're in, at what point in your career you're in. It's never too late to sit down and relook at your life and think about, what are some of the things I want to do? What are some exciting things I want to do? What are some things that are going to help me with growth and development? What are some things that are going to help other people? What gets me excited and that I can put on paper to remind me every single day that, hey, life is still exciting. And then once you do that, you commit to seeing your vision every day. I have a vision board that I've put together of things that I want to do in different categories in my life, and things that I want to accomplish, things that I want to help people with, all kinds of things. I have that vision board and I have it in a place where I can see it every day. And I don't always read it every single day, but I try to go to it often. And sometimes I find that when my days and weeks are crazy and packed with work, packed with creating content, I forget what I'm moving towards. And then I look back, for example, about 3 weeks ago, I was just doing stuff, a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to creating content. I was writing scripts, I was putting together episode ideas, just doing all of that stuff, but not actually sitting down and recording videos and putting them out there. And then I walked by my vision board one day and I looked at my vision board and I saw the YouTube and I saw the podcast vision on there, and I saw just how many people that I could help with that. And it made me realize that I need to be posting even more. I need to be posting even more because that's what's going to make the vision come true. It's not going to be all the research and planning and all of those things. Those are great, but if I just let ideas stack up on paper, it's actually not going to be very beneficial. So that vision board was just a reminder for me that, hey, turn on your camera and just start recording some of the stuff that you've been writing. And one of the things that's come out of that is this episode that I'm recording now. And it's a great thing because that vision gave me back that direction and it made me start moving forward with what I really needed to be doing. So today, decide what you want your dream life to be. There's no parameters around this. There's no holding back on this. Feel free to dream about anything. If it's something huge and totally something that you don't feel like you can accomplish right now, that's fine. Just write it down, put a picture of it, whatever it is. The whole point of this exercise is not to start to think about how do I accomplish this. It's just to put your vision on paper. The how will come later. Right now, you just want to take what's in your mind, put it down, and then you can think about how you're going to accomplish all of those later. And that's where the fun begins, is when you start to think about those tactical things. But first, it has to start with a vision. Building a vision is just a start of it. The next step is taking action even when you're scared. Watch this episode right here so that you can stop letting fear ruin your life. And as always, thanks for listening. Take care and have a wonderful day.